everyone. Today is Tuesday. It is August the 10th. It is the feast of St. Lawrence, Deacon and Martyr. Let's talk about St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence, a deacon of the Roman Church. So he was in Rome. He was, of course, right around the Holy Father, the Pope at that time, in the early church. And deacons, they assist the bishop in many ways, and they also assist the priest in many ways. And in the life of the church, St. Lawrence had a wonderful responsibility of taking care of the treasures of the church. That is money and also items, okay, to put it that way. So the patrimony of the church. So you know how people give the parish a lot of things? So their resources, so their financial resources, we have to take care of that. We have to have there's a whole system in place in parish life to take care of people's money that they contribute to the life of the parish. It's just not going into like one, pot. It's all regulated to how it's all processed too. So when people give us money, it's processing like, what is this money for? Is this for the Sunday collection? Is this for a mass being offered? Is this for the capital campaign? Is this for tuition? Is this for prep? Is this for, like, I'm giving you all the possibility scenarios. So it doesn't go into one account or one book. You know how they call them bookkeepers? Well, a bookkeeper looks at all the accounts that a company has and makes sure that the money that's being sent forth, especially in our case, donated, goes in the correct account. And so we have to be very careful of that. It's a very serious obligation to safeguard, protect, and process people's financial resources that they have given to the church freely. But just because they give it to the church has a responsibility to take care of it. So as you know, Kathy Wisniewski is our bookkeeper. So she takes care of our books, and she's assisted, of course, by Tom Lamar, who is the school bookkeeper. So, those two work very much hand in hand. And they're guided by two groups of people. And I'm telling you all this because I think Catholics should know about all this. The Parish Finance Council and the Board of Limited Jurisdiction. So it's just not like one person, or it's just not me. Did you notice I didn't even put my name in that mix yet? People I didn't even put my name there yet. So anyway, Kathy Wisniewski is the bookkeeper. We have about 30 accounts. So we don't have just one account. It just doesn't go into the parish operating. Like I said, I mentioned all these different accounts or all these books, bookkeeper, you know what I mean? So Kathy has, of course, that obligation to safeguard, protect, and really process people's stewardship that they give to us financially, no matter what category it is. And she's assisted by the school bookkeeper, who is Tom Lamar. So they work hand in hand. And like I said, overseeing a lot of that is the Parish Finance Council, who oversees the finances of the parish. So Steve Bakey is the chair of the Parish Finance Council. So there's a overseer of that, because the Finance Council asks to see the books. And so they look through everything, how everything is processed. And then we have a Board of Limited Jurisdiction and a Finance Committee for the school. And so Lisa Roberts is the chairwoman of the finances for the school. And she looks over the books of the school. and she makes sure everything's okay. So there has to be, someone who looks over these accounts that makes sure that everything is okay. We also have employed in the parish a business manager who also assists in all of that if there's any situation. But the business manager is not a bookkeeper, so to speak. At one time, the business manager was everything. It was horrible. And I say horrible because too much. It was ridiculous. I mean, the business manager got stuck with everything, and things were not getting done. I'm sure you can remember, even in the life of the parish, there's things that are not getting done, not because they don't want to do it, because there's no time to do it. There's only an 8-hour day. These people have to go home. They have their wives and mothers and grandmothers. They have lives. So, I mean, there's so much to do that these positions had to be split up into other categories. So business managers are now, they take care of personnel, all the employees and their personnel files and their insurance and how that's all processed and how their rights are explained to them, all of that kind of stuff. Risk management, she oversees all of that in the life of the parish. Mary Beth also not only the business manager, but she's also the director of operations, so that any operations that we have, whether it's fundraising or events or kind of shows, I want to say for school or Christmas bazaar or Christmas Eve Mass, whether that be in the hall or whether we're having a Christmas contest of any sorts, just to make sure everything's prepared in the annex, or if we're blessing the Christmas tree outside, to oversee that. If we're having an outdoor event, to make sure everything's okay, to make sure that we get the game license if we're having an event. If we need a liquor's license, that goes through Mary Beth's office. All that has to be processed through her office. I'm not trying to give you too much information in this reflection. I'm just telling you it's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. We make it look easy because that's what we want to do. We want to make it look easy for everybody. Just like Susan's job is the director of communication and stewardship. That's a very busy full-time job. Many parishers are now moving to positions of director of communication and stewardship. Go on parishes' websites, you'll see it now more and more. You'll see it popping up now. You know why? It's too big of a job. You can't give it to a volunteer. It's too big. It encompasses so much that you need a person dedicated to that. Plus you have to have the resources too, of all these people on your staff. If you want everything to work nicely and to provide nice things for parishioners as they come into parish life and join in the life of the parish, well, you need these people. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's difficult to find volunteers. Ask any pastor, ask any principal. It's a very difficult position to be in to get volunteers. People want to help, but they don't want to coordinate. I'll help you, but I don't want to do that. I'll help you, but I don't want to do that. Well, I need someone to do that. Well, let me just go back to bookkeeper. So that is really St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence in that day. So if you want to go back into the day of the early church, that's what he was dealing with. And plus he was dealing with, I guess, all the people that I've just mentioned. It was St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence. Even the patrimony of the parish. When I speak of patrimony, all the things that are physical gifts to us. Physical gifts. To take care of them. So when you go to Rome and the Vatican, the Pope can't touch those things because they're gifts. Oh, look how rich everything is. Look how rich he is. They're not his. They were given to the church. Keep your paws off of it, because that's not for you to get rid of, especially if it was given for that purpose. But if it was given with the understanding that the church can either eventually sell it, okay, that's a different story. But the Pope does not own any of that. It's not his personal property. It's part of the patrimony of the church. Well, St. Lawrence had a great job taking care of all that. God bless him. And he was a deacon. And back then, that's what the deacons did. The priests and the bishops were not going to be concerned with all that. Just like I'm making the point with me as pastor. Am I the bookkeeper? No. Am I the parish bookkeeper? Am I the school bookkeeper? No. Am I the principal? No. Am I the parish business manager? No. Am I the director of communication or stewardship? No. But as pastor, I oversee all these entities. I know what they do, but I don't do it. The same thing with the Pope. The Pope knows all about this, but the Pope doesn't do that stuff. How could he? How could I do it? I can't do it all. So you rely on the gifts and talents of people who assist you in the work and the life of the church. So, August 10th, St. Lawrence. That was his job. I mentioned at Mass, if you're not tuning in at Mass, I told the people this, they were really persecuting and martyring people in the life of the church, in the early church. Killing them horrifically. Popes, bishops, deacons, nuns, killing them. Yeah, this happened. So they got to St. Lawrence because they knew he was like a bigwig in the Vatican. He said, come here. We want all the treasures. We know that you're the custodian of all the treasures of the church. We want all of it. He says, give me a couple days. Give me a couple days. I'll get everything for you. So you know what he did? He got the different treasuries. Not money and statues and chalices. Not those things. No. He got the different treasures. The poor, the homeless, the disenfranchised, the marginalized. All these people, he told them, come over to St. Peter's. Then he says to the person, this is the church's treasures. This is what we hold very dear. Well, of course, they did not like that. And they took him and put him on a grill, almost like a big barbecue. And they burned him on the grill. Well, as you know, St. Lawrence was kind of a comedian because, when they asked for all the treasures of the church and they did not get the money and the statues and the gold chalices, he gave them the poor and the homeless. So he was kind of like, but he was serious. That's the church's treasures. But he was, seen as a comedian. But another thing he was, not only in that point, but he was a comedian on that barbecue grill. You know what he said to them? I'm done on this side, turn me over. That's oh my gosh. So he's patron saint of comedians, chefs, barbecues, all that kind of stuff because of his legacy that we read about him, we learn about him, and how he much loved God and loved the Lord and the church, that he was not going to forfeit it all. You want the treasures of the church? Not a problem. Give me a couple days. I'll give you the treasures of the church. You know what they are? These people. These are our treasures. St. Lawrence, teach us how to love God more and how to take care of God's own possessions that God has entrusted us with. And I say that too as well. God bless our parish. The treasures are the people that are here, the people that we serve. They're our treasures. Sure, Kathy takes care of all the books. Lisa and Steve assist her and Tom. Mary Beth assist with all the business aspects of the church. But our treasures are our people. They're our treasures. We're custodians of the physical plant of the church, the physical, the 23 acres. How about that, 23 acres, 2 ponds, 6 buildings, a beautiful church, a beautiful chapel, a beautiful school, a beautiful hall, a beautiful annex, a beautiful office center, beautiful residence for priests. But the treasure is the people whom we serve. We're all on the journey that we know God, love God, and serve Him in this life so that we're happy with Him in the next. But to take the responsibility to take care of all this. And we're happy to do that. We're happy to take care of the responsibility, to be good stewards of the gifts that God has given to us. So today is the feast of this Deacon Martyr. Yeah, St. Lawrence. And just to share with you his life. So thank you for all that you do for this parish. Thank you for your time, your talent, your treasure, your love of God, your sacrifices, all for His holy name, all for His presence to be here in this place that we call home, St. Mary's. St. Lawrence, pray for us.